What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Game Day with Trey. This your host Trey. That's my co-host Faith,
What up, world?
and we finna give y'all some real live information on the NBA draft. Top 10 prospects in the draft. At least what everybody else is saying, projected top 10 players. But I think me and Faith gonna have a little something to say about that. So what we gonna give y'all today is I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna go over the players, all right, and then we're gonna call boom or bust. All right. Y'all all know what boom or bust is, man. And seeing as how we're dealing with the NBA draft and this is NBA draft season, on average, you only get three, maybe four players that are players that end up being effective players that get remembered throughout history in the NBA per draft. All right. So, I mean, it's a crapshoot. Just keep it 100. All right.
Hmm.
So we're gonna go ahead and start off with supposed to be for show number one overall pick, Victor Wembemyama. All right. Now
Victor.
this young man right here is like a 6'2" guard and a 7'5" body. All right. Like he can move with the rock. He got the handles. He can shoot the three. Inside outside game. I believe that he played in the same league as Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert played in 34 games and he played in 27 games and he blocked 34 more
50.
shots or 50. I'm sorry,
50.
yeah, 50 more shots than Rudy Gobert. You know what I mean? So
Block party.
since 79 there's
Hey,
only been,
block party.
for real, since 79 there's only been 10 players that have been consensus number ones like Victor Wembanyama, man. What do you think about this young man? I mean, because it's a mixed bag when I look at him, but you tell me what
Hey,
you think, Fake.
one thing about it, you can't lose with him because even if he just played defense, 50. Rudy Gobert was the number one defender in the NBA. No, and if he got 50 more shots in seven less games than him, because Rudy played 34, I think he played 27 or something like that. So
Yep.
he played less games and got 50 more blocks than your number one NBA defender. 7'5", got feet, work like a cat. Hey, it's trouble. Hey, San Antonio, they always retool with players from overseas too. They always come with a surprise. They got good scouting, I think, in San Antonio and the other other leagues around the world because they always come up with a talent. They always find a jewel from another country, and I think this dude, I think he's a real person that could change organization and the trajectory of your organization. You could build around him with no time and end up winning a title, man. For real, he's that freakish. If he plays offense as good as they say he translates to the NBA game, hey, there's gonna be a lot of people in trouble. 7'5" throwing block parties.
Man, look, a lot of people don't understand the fact too that the young man moves. When I say he moves like he's 6'2", he really does move like he's 6'2".
Yeah, I see
All
that.
right, he got great footwork, and he already believes fully in taking care of his body, which is very important for a young player coming into the NBA with a slight frame like Wemby. You feel me? So at the end of the day, I honestly feel like this is a boom right here. I'm not saying that this guy right here or this kid is going to be the best player because I think there's a couple other players that we will talk about that could be shooting at him for who's the best player. Now, what makes Wemby the possible what possibly makes Wemby the best player in this draft is because of the fact he's coming in the NBA at a time where the center, all right, is possibly transitioning to the white wilt type role. Okay,
And
which is
then listen,
also
you gotta
which
think.
is go ahead.
I don't mean to cut you off, but when you said that, think about Joker having to guard him.
That's what I'm saying. Or him guarding Joker. He gonna shut
Man,
Joker down,
no,
dog.
he could
There's a
guard
couple.
Joker. He's
Hold up.
7'5".
There's a couple kids in this draft that actually can cover Joker. You know what I'm saying? That I believe that will
But
be able to
I'm
cover
saying
him.
that because he's directly in the West. He's directly in the West with him. They gonna have to play each other.
Yeah. Oh
And
yeah. They gonna
Joker,
see each other.
they ain't no rebounding on the ground. Ain't no getting them shots off on the ground.
Ain't no doing this. Ain't
Ain't none of that. You got
none
to
of
go and
that
get
going
it.
on, huh? So what you say, boom or bust, man?
Boom, boom, boom.
Boom, boom,
You got
boom.
to think about the offense, rebounding, and offensive rebounding, and defense.
Hey, Face, you
That's a
cutting out
triple
real quick.
boom.
Yeah, I want you
Yeah,
to, there you
you
go.
can't bust. Yeah,
There you go.
somebody was
Your camera
calling.
came back. There you
Somebody
go.
was calling in.
Oh, all right. So you said boom, 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 huh?
Boom, boom, boom. Ha
All right.
ha.
All right. All right. So we done already covered Victor Wembemya. All right. We all know what he is. We know he is one of the most touted and uh, just highly spoken of prospects in NBA history at this point in time. So I'm not sure if there's any much more that needs to be said about that young man. But if that's the case, then let's get on to the next one, man. And the next one, in my eyes and in consensus eyes, is Brandon Miller, guys. All right. Brandon Miller. So Brandon Miller is out of Alabama. We all know he was going through the little charge or whatever like that. He had some things that he was faced while he was at Alabama that I'm pretty sure he's been exonerated on by this point in time. Okay, I'm not sure though, so I don't want to state whether or not for sure he's been exonerated, but I do know that the young man he was involved in some things off the court. Okay, we'll just leave it at that. But yeah, we're talking about a 6'9" shooting guard, okay, that can play the shooting guard and the small forward. He really wasn't somebody who would drive to the rack until later on in the season, but that was more or less him really flipping a switch, okay, because he was going through so much off court stuff this season. It's surprising that he was able to really keep it together and do all that he did. All right. We're talking about a 6'9" dude, 205, 210 pounds, and can rip it from three. Okay. Rip it from three. Got more confident taking it to the cup, and he liked to play D. You know what I mean? Great mid range game, too. So definitely the consensus number two. But what say you?
I think they had him and Scoop Henderson battling for who really supposed to. They say he took over in the end. They say Scoop Henderson was the consistent number two until late. Now they saying Brandon Miller. I mean, so I like him. You know, 6'9" shooting guard. Shit, you down there got a 7-footer shooting like a shooting guard. I'll take that any day. For real, have him come off the screen. When he come off the screen, he already looking over the defenders. I have
Hmm.
a pick and roll. I have a pick and roll team with him so serious, man. All I gotta do is give him the ball, come on the pick. You shooting over most defenders.
Yep. All
You
day.
gotta
And you
have
also,
you gotta have a 7-footer guard him coming off the pick and roll.
yep,
Think
because
about it.
really and truly,
If I
man,
come on that pick and roll, I gotta. Hmm?
even
Charlotte
with it,
need that anyway.
even with
Charlotte.
his low release, man, this young kid could have got some handles. You know what I mean? So, and you're right, Charlotte does need him. I think that would be the perfect landing spot for him, especially now that J. Cole is a partial owner. Shout out to J. Cole, man. Congratulations on partial ownership of the Charlotte Hornets. Okay.
That's a
Uh,
that's a
that's
saving this money.
Yeah, that's a big move,
Somebody
man.
saving
That's
this
a
money.
big move. It's a
Somebody
major
been
big
saving
move.
this money.
But
Yeah, man.
anyway, so yeah, back to the draft. So I honestly feel like Brandon Miller would fit great next to LaMelo. You brought up Scoot Henderson, and he's next on the list, so we'll go ahead and talk about him too, and then we'll cover both of them, whether they're boom or bust, right? But the reason I'm lower on Scoot than I am on Brandon is because first off, I've seen Brandon do it under the bright lights. Okay. Not only did he do it in the tournament, but he did it all season long in the SEC. Okay. Then on top of all that, he had everybody on his head for this attachment to what he had was going on off court. All right.
Yeah.
So and he still was the kid was putting up 40 some odd points in some games, man. I watched him put up 48 points in the game that he just left the courtroom. All right. And went and put 48 on their head. I watched that game. I mean, so I love that kid, but the Scoot, but like I said, Scoot Henderson. Every time I see somebody that size come into the NBA, and you say that they're explosive, and you say that they're athletic, and you say that they are aggressive, when it comes to attacking the rack and
And like,
attacking the rim. Whenever you say all that type of stuff, I think of Russell Westbrook.
see,
And
that's what
when I think of Russell Westbrook, I think of L's, L's, L's. Okay, because the only point guard in the league right now, in my eyes, that plays an athletic game like Russell Westbrook and could possibly win a championship is suspended for the first 25 games of the season next year. You guys, all right? And I'm not saying Scoot Henderson's that dude. Like you 6'2", you got no jumper. At least John Morant can shoot. You ain't got no J yet. Yeah, like I don't like players that are smaller players that don't have a jumper. You got to have that J. You got like that is essential, especially in
and I
today's
think
game.
I think more of a question mark around Scoop is gonna be his health. You know, he's been having a couple of health issues. He had concussions. He had a fractured sinus and a couple more other things going on with him. And being that you play above the rim the way he does, it's like you set yourself up for injuries because you jumping. Because he don't play on the floor really. This
Nah,
dude really plays above the rim. Scoop, he go out here attack the rim. That's why they try to say like a young Westbrook, but by the way that he attacks the basket and the ferocity that he goes at it with. So that being said, you have to try to work on your jumper to try to extend your game a little more and keep yourself out of harm's way. Even though you ain't gonna change your game, so we know he's gonna attack. But I think his question mark is gonna be his durability and his health, man. That's why I think Brandon Miller went above him in the draft too. It wasn't just
well,
sheer like that. That
brother,
was
you got to look at the fact Brandon Miller can play off the pick and roll. He can do the catch and shoot.
yeah.
He can take it to the cup. He played D. He's bigger. He's like all those things play a major role, especially when I'm selecting high in the draft. I don't know about what anybody else want to do. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about what Portland
Yeah.
gonna do. I don't know about what I don't know about what Charlotte gonna do. But I know if I'm selecting and I have an opportunity to select somebody like that, I'm selecting
And
Brandon
that's what
Miller
it's for.
over Scoot Henderson. I'm with Brandon Miller. I'm saying boom, and I'm sorry, Scoot Henderson, you's a bust. Yeah, like I'm not saying you's a bust, but like
Yeah.
you
But
literally are
you
you
said if
you
you got to
are
pick,
you are
I know it's
suspect on the bust list.
I can see that.
You know what I mean?
They they they, they just like him because he a playmaker. He like he can improvise on a lot of shots. I see why they were trying to say that he was probably like up there with them, but he know
Man,
how to
look, I'm gonna read you something real quick. Okay, out of 230 shots, 199 of those shots were off the dribble. That shows how much this man needs to work on his catch and shoot abilities. You telling
you
me out
know
of all like
he he really don't have those catch and shoot ability. He
this
create
is the
mostly.
NBA. You got to get that. They'll expose
He's
that stuff,
attacker.
man.
Yeah, he likes to attack. That's why I say he play above the rim. That's why I say he really don't play on the floor because the way he attacks, he plays above the rim. He gonna go and try to get it from off the rim. He gonna try to do some highlight reels to get there, and when he get there, he going up strong. That's why they say, his injury, he might be injury prone.
You know what I will say though about Scoot Henderson, and I'll give him this opportunity right here. If Scoot Henderson is able to focus himself properly, all right, and hone in on his game correctly, he could be decent. could be decent. I'm still not putting him in that because once again, at 6'2", all right, you're just a little too small for me right now. At 6'2", you're a little too small for me. You don't have a jumper, and that's very important. I can't have you hitting the ground all the time. When you in the NBA, they put you on the floor. You know what I'm saying? They put you on the floor. You get up there like that, you want to get above the rim, they're gonna put you on the floor. And they're not like they used to do it, but they still do it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
AI. You see, AI used to stay on the ground.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Heck, hey, John Morant stay on the ground. He stay above the
Yeah,
rim,
he
but
do.
he stay on the ground. You know what I mean?
He do.
He stay on the ground. All right, so we done covered all those guys. We done covered Wemby. We done covered Brandon Miller. We done covered Scoot Henderson. What about Amen Thompson? What about the Thompson brothers, Amen and Asur Thompson? Now they both play almost the same position at 6'7", 205. One can play point, or one can play shooting guard, or the other one can play
Swap it.
small forward. Like they cycle between the three. But there's a difference between the two. There's a major difference between the two. And when you saying Amen, yeah, you really should be saying it. Because this young man right here is a beast, pure beast. All right, I watched
Attacker.
some. Man, look, I watched some tape on this dude. Right now, it's not just he's an attacker. Right, when he matriculates the game of basketball, all right, against multiple defenders, this young man is not just thinking about the defender in front of him. He's already his move that he's or his combination, his dribble combination he's putting together is already tied into the next three dribble
Second and
combinations
the
that
second
are
and third
for the
defender.
second and third defender. All right. I look, I'm gonna be honest with you. Okay. You know who used to do that? The one who the last
Sherlock
person.
Sherlock Holmes. Hey, you know how Sherlock Holmes break it down in his
Yeah.
mind. He see how
Yeah.
everything gonna go.
Yeah.
That's
Just like
exactly,
that.
yeah.
Just no, I peep what you were saying. Just like Sherlock Holmes in the movie, dog. All right.
Yeah.
Like you gotta watch this young man. It's really amazing, especially since he's so athletic. But what say you, Faith?
Hey, I like him. You know what I mean? I wanna see him play and see how they play when they ain't together. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Then when you play with somebody for so long, it comes with a comfortability. Well, I'm comfortable. I know that this person. You feel what I'm saying? You always
Yeah.
have that security blanket.
Hmm.
Now, being that they're gonna end up at different teams, I want to see how they develop apart. Like, you know what I mean? Are they gonna digress a little bit, being that they ain't used to playing with that other brother, or they gonna flourish? That's what I want. That's what I want to see. But a man played with a little. His brother got a little different skill set than him, though. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well,
So
that's the whole thing. Sir, I'm in. If you just look at the notes, right? Amen Thompson, 6'7", 205. He's a posterizer, plays downhill in transition, ability to break down multiple defenders at once with intelligence. He's fundamental. And when I say fundamentals, I mean like Tim Duncan like fundamentals.
yeah,
All right. He's shifty with the ball. He's low maintenance, and he's the best playmaker in the draft. Like when you talking about what you kind of want, that young man's what you kind of want, man. Like I told you on the beginning of this, it's usually about three or four players that are the players. At the end of this, I'll tell you the players out of the players that we've named that I feel could possibly be those players. But since we are on the Thompson brothers and we said we would do both of them before we do boom or bust on both, okay, what's up with us, sir?
sir. Hey, he played the four. They say he could play the guard down to the four. So I just want to see how they translate and play on the floor without each other, or what team do they go to and what system they in. I feel like you say, a lot of people get caught up in the hype of the number of the draft pick, like, oh, I'm the number one draft pick. But like you say, you always have those guys that are gonna have that chip on their shoulder that got picked at a higher or lower. that's gonna play and probably produce more than what we seeing on far as the names right here on this paper.
Hmm.
So I feel like those brothers are one of the players that you could kind of like look for to be those diamonds in the rough. You feel what I'm saying? Either one of them, be honest with you, but I think Asur got a little bit more
He got a little bit more work to do.
versatility to his game.
Oh,
He got a
yeah.
little bit more versatility, but
Okay.
it's gonna be a work in progress. We're gonna see how they translate to the NBA.
Yes, yes, yes. It's definitely going to be a work in progress, man. So for Asur, like I said about his brother, they're both 6'7". They are twins. They're 20 years old. Asur's a jack of all trades. He gets out in transition. He plays good D. Like you said, he can work his way all the way down to the four. But out of the two, he's the one with the potential for the bust. And I say that because of the fact that he comes in with such a limited game. When you come into the NBA with a limited game, if you don't like take off in that first year and show something, it's going to be so hard for you to get off the bench, to get into the games, to get to where you need to go. There's so many players in the NBA that get drafted every year,
Some-
top players, and they
Sometimes,
get buried.
sometimes being limited, sometimes being limited ain't always bad though. Long as you're good and especially at what you do, as far as your limitations, and you know how to work them within, and it's
A
always
system.
have something to do with the system. You feel what I'm saying? If you could do that, it ain't always good, but you got to know your limitations. You got to work on those limitations to take them off and be limitless. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? It ain't good to stay with limits. Like you feel what I'm saying? Don't get content, but don't try to do too much too early and forget about the things that you do good. Focus on the things that you do good, even if it's limited. It might help your team win if you do it at your best, and then learn as you going along, as you progress, and you learning other things. But do the things that you do well. Like you say, if you know you got limits, do it until you get better.
Yeah.
And for your
I mean, you got to
takes.
put in the work like Kobe did, dog. Listen, Tim
Yeah,
Grover
you know
said
what
it over the
I'm saying?
weekend.
Sometimes,
Tim Grover said it over the weekend at RiseCon, man. And if you ain't checked out the speech, go ahead, go over to EI3 and check it out. All right, it's a great speech from RiseCon. Or just look up Tim Grover's speech from RiseCon 2023. All right, I guarantee you'll find it. But
I wanna see that Magic Johnson. You know
yeah,
that.
I'm gonna post that one today. That's the one
Yeah.
I'm gonna post today. Today I'm gonna post the Magic Johnsons. But anyway, I digress, man. So I'm definitely quite possibility of a boom. And I don't, man. I know I said bust on his brother earlier, and I'm leaning towards the bust only because of the possibility of him stepping into the league, being separated from his brother, who he's been with this whole time, like you keep pointing out to, and he gets exposed, man. Look, I remember there were some twins that I went to high school with. They were the Graham twins, okay? Joey and I forgot what the other one's name was. But anyway, they both got drafted. They both went to Oklahoma State, okay, played basketball for 1 year or 2 years, and then they got drafted into the NBA. One went to Denver, the other one went to Toronto, okay? They never played the same again. Once they got separated, they never played the same again. You know what I mean? I
Well,
hope that's not a grim uh, a foreshadowing of what's possibly going to happen with these young men. But like that's what I've seen with my own two eyes.
yeah. It's some funny things going on with them twins. They can feel a lot of things each other can feel.
I got twins, so I
Yeah,
trust me. Yeah, there's a lot of craziness goes on with twins, man. But
yeah.
let's go ahead. Let's get to the next one. So next one is Jarace Walker. Okay, now Jarace Walker is a long arm big guy who can shoot, 6'8", 240, 19 years old, power forward slash small forward. And problem is though, He only shoots 30% off the dribble, and yeah,
Yeah, he can't.
you
He
can't
can't
shoot like
create.
that, man.
He can't create his own shot. He gonna need a lot of help. He need to get on a team where they got good assists. he can't. He can't create for himself. That's one thing I when I read up on him, they say it's hard for him as far as creating his own shot. But it's an uptick to him too. You know what I mean? So being that you can't create your own shot, it ain't necessarily a bad thing because it's a team sport. So that's why I say you got to get on a good team that can get you to your spots, get you open, and he'll be all right. If he got to create on his own, if he go to a team, he got to create on his own. They already know he in trouble. So that's why I said a lot of times it's a system and the situations that you put these players in. You got to put them in the
Exactly.
best
But
position
you,
to
that's
win.
what
You know
that's
they
what I'm saying.
belong.
You got to realize
So they
these
keep the
players are
system.
these players going to the Orlando Magic. These players are going to the Detroit Pistons. These players are going to the Portland Trailblazers. These players are going to the Charlotte Hornets. These players are going to the San Antonio Spurs. These are not great franchises. Okay, San Antonio is, but everything else I just named is not. Sorry. And I'm an Orlando Magic. I like the Orlando Magic. You know what I mean?
They got some pieces. They got
No,
some young
man, look,
pieces
but if
down
that's the whole thing, I'm saying these players that we're talking about, they're going to those teams. And
there. Yeah, I know.
so I would not recommend the Orlando Magic draft Asur Thompson as an example. I wouldn't recommend the Orlando Magic draft uh, even Jarace Walker. I wouldn't recommend it. Nobody that is 6'8" that you're talking about is going to be a stretch four in the league coming out of college. No, I don't believe in 6'8" stretch fours. That's a three. You play the small forward if you're 6'8". If you're 6'10", 6'11", then you're a four. Okay, maybe in 6'9" you could be a four, but you can't be a four at 6'8". All right, that does not fly. Some people can do it, some people can't, but most are ineffective at
But I guess that's why they say a stretch ball. You know what I mean? So he can take
it.
you out on the shoot the
Take your all
ball,
that
try to
brother
go
and
by.
stretch that thing, man, stretch that thing.
Yeah.
All right, so that, he's in the middle. I'm not gonna give you boom or bust on him. He's in the middle, man.
No,
All right.
you got to give a boom or a bust.
Well, if I
You
got
got
to
to
give a
boom or
boom or a
bust.
bust, then this kid's gonna be a bust too. That's another
God,
bust. That's another
hey,
bust.
there's a lot of busting going on.
Yeah.
We only know number
Yeah.
five, numbers 5 or 6, and we already got like three
Got
busts.
three busts. we got
Three
yeah,
busts.
we got three busts already.
And we ain't talking about Jerome Bettis, the bus.
Look,
We talking
we got
about
yeah. So the busts were Wemby's not a bust, but and Brandon Miller I didn't have as a bust. We had booms on both of those. You had boom for Scoot Henderson, and I had bust for Scoot Henderson. That's three. Four is I'm in. I had a boom for Amen, but a bust for Asur. I think you had a boom for both of those. Okay, and then bust. I had a bust for Jarace Walker just now, and you got boom or
See,
bust.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. I don't know the hearts of these kids yet. I never really had a chance to watch them. So sometimes that size, when we saying 6'8", that's down to 7 foot still. And if they got the dog in them, I know they go. You feel what I'm saying? So I don't know the players
Uh,
really well
Look,
enough.
I'm not
I don't
speaking
feel
on nobody's
comfortable.
heart. What I'm
Yeah,
speaking on,
we
okay,
have to
but I'm
take that into account. We have to
yeah,
take that into account. So we
I
calling
know,
them
I know
boom
I
bust.
do. I know I do. But when I'm saying boom or bust, I'm looking at what the average comes in the league. In the
Yeah,
NBA, you got 60 players that come into the league every year through the
yeah.
draft. There's two rounds. It's a total of 60 players that come in. Out of those 60 players, you get probably 3 to 5. I'll say 3 to 5 players that are effective players in the NBA. Everybody else is either a fringe role player or a complete bench player or just did not even last. Remember Josh Jackson out of Kansas a couple years ago? Top draft pick. Everybody loved him. Got drafted to Phoenix. Is he even in the league anymore? Like
Where
for
are they
real.
now?
You know what I'm saying? Where are they now? All right. And there's plenty of players we can go through this with. I can go back
Yeah.
with you. Players that came out of high school that just was
Greg
just like,
Oden, man,
yeah.
it's a whole bunch. Yeah,
There's a
I
whole
know
bunch of what
exactly what you're
happens.
saying.
There's a whole bunch
It's
of what
just
happened to me. You know what I'm
you
saying? Where
gotta think
you at
about this.
now and all that.
You gotta think about this here. All these kids ain't great. They just gotta pick out of the ones that's decent and good enough to be drafted 1, 2, 3. All these kids ain't real great players. Like they just hoping, and so it's always like you say a roll of the dice when you drafting these kids, because don't nobody really know how they gonna turn out. They just gonna try to make them into what they want them to be. So I don't know. It's gonna be a few. It's gonna be a whole lot of bust on here, but you're
Oh
gonna have a
yeah.
few bones. And I
Yeah.
don't really, and I ain't want to just be saying bust, 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 and I
Oh no,
don't really
I don't
know
want to
these
just be
kids'
saying
heart.
bust, bust, bust either, but I just want to keep it 100 with
Hey,
everybody.
and that's
You
your
know what I'm
honest
saying?
opinion,
This
though.
goes,
If
this is
that's your
going
honest
out.
opinion,
This,
bust them up.
yeah, no, this is gonna be here forever. Okay,
Yeah,
I understand that what I'm saying right now is gonna echo throughout eternity. All right,
yeah.
and what I'm saying, that's why I'm standing on what I'm saying. If look, if I'm calling you a bust right now, I'm not calling you a bust right now, saying that you have zero possibility of being a great player or doing anything in the NBA. I'm calling you a bust right now because of your abilities that you're stepping into the league with. I don't know your heart, like Faith said. I don't know what's going on between them two shoulders and whether or not you're going to use it. But what I can tell you is if you look at statistically and you look at what the numbers say and how many people come in, it ain't too many that's going to be what they supposed to be. And if you come in and you are highly touted, supposed to be a top 10 prospect, then you got to stick in the league. And I just gave you one, Josh Jackson. He was a top 10 prospect, drafted like sixth by Phoenix a few years back. He ain't even in the league no more. You know what I mean? He ain't even in the league. So that type of stuff happens. But let's get into this. Let's get to these last couple ones real quick. You guys, Taylor Hendrickson, 6'9", 210 pounds, shoots 40% from three, can catch and shoot, rebounder, stretch out the court, good cutter, great off ball blocker, versatile defender
Sound good to me.
from UCF.
Yep. I I think he got a chance to be a good role player. You know what I mean? But as far as him being a star in the league, I don't know about that. You know what I mean? But if you're just in the league, that's good enough because you got to be good to play in the NBA. If you get minutes in the NBA, then But as far as being a star, I don't know.
Let's be clear about something, everybody in the crowd, everybody who's watching right now. All right. If I'm calling your name out and I'm even speaking your name right now, in the next 24 hours, you will be worth millions of dollars. Millions. Okay. So I'm not shooting shots at you. I'm not shooting shots at your career. But what I am saying is everybody ain't gonna make it, man.
That's life.
And that's life, man. Everybody ain't gonna make it. So Taylor Hendricks, is he a is he a
He from
pop,
Central
pop,
Florida.
pop, pop,
Boom,
pop, 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 pop.
boom. He from Central Florida. Boom. He going boom.
Ah, yeah. Drop the
What
A
about
bomb on
Anthony?
him, man. We're
What
gonna go
about
ahead.
Anthony Black?
We
You
know,
got
hold up.
Anthony Black next.
I am gonna finish that with Taylor Hendricks though. Look, Taylor Hendricks, I like it. I like the young man. He can rebound, he can shoot the three, he can catch and shoot. I actually would like to see him go number 11 to the Orlando Magic. So, but the next young man coming up, he one of my favorite players, and that's Anthony Black. Okay, not
You asked me
only
about him first.
yes,
That's the first player you asked me about too.
yeah, and the reason I asked you about him is because of his intangibles and his mixture of size, athletic ability, and playmaking prowess. All right, the young man was doing his thing at Arkansas, dog. And I was watching Arkansas this year. You know what I mean? Well, a shout out to the Razorbacks. Okay. Uh, Anthony Black was doing his thug thizzle throughout the SEC, and the SEC ain't no cupcake neither. All right. But anytime I can see somebody that's about 6'6", 6'7", silky smooth with the ball, good with distributing, and not afraid to take it to the rack and will play defense, I always start thinking a little bit about Penny Hardaway, man. So that's why I might be a little, you know, I might be a little struck about this young man. I might like this young man right here.
Well, I see that. I like him. He got a good game. I like his game. I think the things that he does on the floor, I think it'll translate pretty well in the NBA. I can see him making it in the NBA. See, that's what I try to see. The type of game that you have could it translate into something and be something in the NBA? Because a lot of these games, these dudes playing, it's like NFL. The speed of the game is different. The strength of the players is different. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
way different.
like you say, everybody ain't gonna make it, but I think this one of the dudes who packs enough player making ability. He know how to get to his spots and things like that. So I feel like he can make it. I feel like he'll be one of the ones to make it.
All right.
So I'm gonna give him a boom.
I'm gonna give him a boom too, man. You know what I mean? I like my man's out of UCF, and I like my man's out of Arkansas, man. I think they both had the ability to come into the league and actually be effective. Not saying, like I
Yeah.
said, not saying that they're gonna be like Penny. He ain't. I'm not saying the young man Anthony Black's gonna be Penny Hardaway. Okay. I'm not saying Taylor Hendricks is gonna be Draymond Green or something like that. Okay. All right, but what I am saying is that these two young men will be effective when they get in the league. That's why they both get the boom. All right, now on to the next one. All right, you got Cam Whitmore out of Duke. Not sure what I see in this young man, but I like everything I done heard and watched on him. I think I think
He got
he
an NBA
shows.
deal.
I think
He got an NBA deal.
yeah.
I know that.
That's what I'm saying. I think he has the possibility, even though he's coming off that thumb surgery right now and he shot 37% from three. I honestly feel like he was he was doing his thing, man, before all that happened.
Yeah, he
And
was.
I think that even though he had the next player that we would be talking about on this list, Derek Lively, next to him the whole time, which is another beast they used to do that was doing his thing at Duke. You know, I
That
honestly
boy got
feel like,
defense.
yeah,
That boy
yeah,
play
man.
defense.
And you could never disparage anything coming out of Duke, especially that coaching system. But for you, for me, what you say, Face, boom or bust on Cam and on Derek Lively.
Boom, boom.
Bah! Yeah. Yeah.
I want to see all these dudes do good, man. I want to see all of them do well, man. This is the top 10. I understand it's a long draft. These are the ones that are supposed to make it though, because
Yeah.
it's the top 10. So
Hmm.
we're gonna see how it go. Though. We're gonna see how it play itself out. You know, but I'm gonna give y'all my confidence. I'm gonna give y'all a vote of confidence, man, for the players that I gave a boom to. I want to see y'all go to that league, man, and do y'all thing, man.
And for the players I gave a bust to, I want to see y'all just stick around in the league and get paid, dog.
Make them
Like,
make my
make
co-host wrong.
Yeah, like
Make
I
my
want to see
co-host
y'all.
wrong,
I
man.
want to
Prove
see
us
y'all get to
wrong,
that
man.
check, man. Just get to the check.
Yeah.
Get to the check. Stay in the league for a couple years. Get some money for your family and do something. Go start a business or something, man. The NBA is not for everybody. Okay, just saying. This your boy Trey. That's my homeboy Face, and we gonna holler at you. Peace.
Peace.